Okay, Breaker Broke 23. Today in this video, we're going to take a quick look at the TaoTronics wireless soundbar. This is part number TTSK023, version 1.0. It's a pretty compact little soundbar. It retails for the mid $60 price range, $60, $69, somewhere in there, depending on Amazon's mood. Physical dimensions are 31.5 inches in length, 2.5 inches tall, 2.5 inches deep. Comes with a compact little wireless remote control, quick startup instruction manual, and a little hardware pack so you can hang this on your wall. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, most important of all, this was sent to me by TaoTronics at my request. I don't usually approach different companies, but I've owned quite a few other TaoTronics products that I have bought with my own funding, various Bluetooth devices and headphones. And, you know, I'm pretty satisfied with their products. I really don't have much to complain about. I think overall in their product lineup, they have pretty good stuff. I needed a soundbar. I figured, what the heck, let's give it a shot. So I'm going to give you a nice, honest review here. No fluff. First of all, when I opened the soundbar, it was packed up really well. Found the instructions, found a little hardware pack, found the remote. I'm looking for the batteries. I'm like, hey, where's the batteries? Yeah, they don't give you batteries. So TaoTronics, what's a set of AAA's going to cost you? Oh, 35 cents or so. You guys could probably buy them a few $100,000 at a time. I'm sure you could get a deal on them. So please understand, that is kind of a pain in the butt for the consumer. So when you guys order one of these, don't forget to order you up some AAA batteries. All right, cool. Now, on the front panel, right here, I'll just kind of toggle through some of the features here. We have the on-off button. Oh, did you just hear that? Let's try that again. Let's turn it off, and it's already paired to my cell phone. So listen to this, how could you say this, the pairing notification. Here we go. Hello. Oh, I missed the call. All right. Well, anyway, that's the pairing notification. We have optical input. We have auxiliary input. So we have Bluetooth, optical, auxiliary. Okay. So that's kind of nice. I like how they did that. There's really no bright LEDs shining back at you, and I thought that was kind of a classy little deal. They have a neat little emblem right there, so that's kind of neat. It's, you know, a clean and sleek looking unit. Not a problem. On the remote, we have the mode switches, of course. We have play pause button right here. We have track forward and reverse. We have, these are our EQ settings for music, gaming, TV, and then volume down, up, and mute. So pretty simple, straightforward. In case you lose your remote, we also have those controls located on the side. So, or let's say you didn't get your batteries and you're waiting for some batteries, at least you can operate it from there. Okay, on the rear panel of this unit, we have optical input, we have auxiliary input, and we have a hard-wired power cord. Yes, there's no socket right here to plug your cord into. Some people dislike that. I'm old school. I like it hardwired. I can't lose my cord, for one thing, and quite honestly, they rarely ever need to be repaired or replaced. So, you know, that's something. I have 45-year-old equipment that's hardwired like that. I've never had to replace a power cord. In all of my electronics career, I've probably had to replace one power cord ever. So, like I say, optical, auxiliary. Do you see an HDMI ARC input? No, you don't. Do you see subwoofer output RCAs? No, you don't. Well, this does not have that capability. This is not that type of a soundbar. And like I said, this is in the $60 price range, give or take a little. So I would not expect that, quite honestly. I think this soundbar would be geared to somebody that is maybe in an apartment setting, or maybe you're in a bedroom setting, sharing it with other family members, or whatever, sharing the house with other family members. And quite honestly, a subwoofer just may be too much for your neighbors. Okay, so I wouldn't worry about that, but that's definitely something to think about. Okay, how does this sound on the television? Well, I used optical input and I think it sounded relatively good. It sounded considerably better than the speakers that are firing backwards on the back of my LG 65. This gave me more volume, clearer sound, and because it's actually facing towards you, you get a more direct audio source, and yes, it does sound better. It's definitely an upgrade. Now this is rated at 40 watt output. I'm not really sure if it's going to make the 40 watts. That may be, you know, that may be a little overrated as far as the wattage output, but who knows? I could be off on that one. I did disassemble this unit, and I'm going to show you the innards of it. However, I did not look at the audio chips, so I'm not really sure what this is going to put out. But they say 40, and you know, I take TaoTronics at their word because of previous gear that I bought from them. So that's a good thing. So how does the speaker sound? It sounds pretty good. It fills my front room, which is approximately 15 by 25. It doesn't get crazy loud, but like I said earlier, it sounds better than the built-in speakers in my television. I think if I wanted any more performance, I would have a bigger soundbar. And I just think that's, you know, it's a size thing. You can only get so much volume from a certain size speaker. There are logistics that will determine the maximum volume output. So size happens to be one of them. But yeah, it'll if you're in a bedroom situation, like a 12 by 12, 12 by 14 bedroom, it'll fill that whole thing up. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. One thing I don't like about the sound bars, and this is basically most all sound bars in general, is you have to have this extra remote hanging around. I don't like a lot of remotes, and you have to have this because when you hook this sound bar up via optically or a fixed auxiliary input, like say RCA output to 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input, and like I say, the optical input, they are a fixed volume. So you're going to have to turn the volume output settings on your TV off and then just totally rely on this. So you're going to have another remote to change channels. And then you're going to have this remote to turn the volume up and down. If you happen to be lucky enough, and maybe you're a gamer or a guy that's got an elderly TV with a headphone output jack, then you're sitting pretty, because you can take the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, plug it into your TV, plug the other end into this, and then you can operate, you know, you can turn this up all the way or halfway or whatever, and then operate the volume control from your TV remote, and you're golden. You're good to go. Okay, now I need to caution you. Do not use this soundbar for video. The latency on this is terrible. I don't know if it's like Bluetooth version 0.5 or 1.0 or 2.0, but it's terrible. It's not 5.0, it's not even 4.0. If it is, it doesn't act like it. You try to use Bluetooth on this and watch TV, it looks like you're watching some old 60s kung fu movie. The lip syncing is just so far off. I'll throw a little video clip in there and you'll see that.
Like a new car, runs like a new car. So, you know, Scotty may be wrong on that. This one doesn't seem any different than the stuff I had that was...
So this is really honestly meant to just be plugged in directly to your TV. Okay, now that's for the TV. But I want to tell you, there's also other uses for this, and you might want to think about this. Maybe this isn't quite your deal for the TV, but you're looking for a really good computer monitor speaker. Wow, I'll tell you what, I use this on my computer a couple different ways, but I use the auxiliary input. So what I did is I plugged a auxiliary plug, a 3.5 millimeter male to 3.5 millimeter stereo male, and I plugged it into the headphone jack on my tower computer, and then plugged it into the back of this puppy and set this in front of my keyboard so I could sit there on my gonculator and have, you know, good sound coming up right at me. And I'll tell you what, that was awesome. Absolutely awesome. This makes a great computer speaker. So this thing can pull double duty. No, wait, triple duty, because I can also use this with my cell phone, and I really like doing that. This, you know, it doesn't matter with that little bit of latency, because when you're using music, there's no lip sync going on, right? So I really like this. Let's go over here, go to Bluetooth. And hit some volume. And fact, this is a good opportunity to demonstrate to you the EQ settings here, okay? So I'll give us a little volume. This is in the music setting right now. We'll go to video. A little wider, more spacious, a little bit more high end. And this is the gaming. I'll tell you what the gaming mode reminds me of. You know, like when you set a graphic equalizer, you have the graphic equalizer going like this being high end, this being low end, right? Well, this is more of a V-shaped, right? Like that, kind of like a V-shaped. It kind of mellows out the mid-ranges, brings in the highs, and then lets you hear a little bit of extended lows. So for me and my aged ears, I actually, on most everything I listen to, prefer the gaming mode. I know that some reviewers don't like the gaming mode, but yeah, this is my favorite one. And then, of course, for TV, this works pretty good, so not a problem. But I like having this option and this overextended high frequency response in the gaming mode was nice because I watched some old TV shows that were a little flat sounding and actually pretty dull, and this brought them right up. So I like that. I like that a lot. Did I happen to mention that this didn't come with batteries? Okay. Anyway, so it's great for the computer. It's actually awesome for the computer. This also makes a great Bluetooth speaker for to have around the house. Set this thing on your mantle or on the counter or something. Plug it into the wall, and man, this will fill a room musically. So, not a problem. Okay, so I want to wrap this video up. We're going to take a look at the innards. I think you're going to be surprised. Most definitely. Up on the bench, and I've got this thing disassembled. The grill came off rather easily. However, not easy enough to just fall off on its own, so that's a plus. So what we have here for each side, we have a left and a right side. This on the left side here, we have two full range drivers. These have a lot of excursion, a lot of throw, so yeah, they're going to move a little bit of air, especially for, the size of them. And then we have a passive radiator, and then the chamber is sealed off approximately right here. So this is an enclosure here, and this from here over is an enclosure as well. Same thing on this side, passive radiator, two full range drivers. The power supply, it's a little switching power supply, and my camera's having a hard time focusing in this light. Sorry about that. But we have a hardwired AC cord coming in the back to this switching power supply. All right. These are just some Chinese Bulker drivers. These are full ranges. They don't have any tweeters or anything like that in them, but they go pretty high. They're not a bad sounding full range at all. These are rated at 10 watts. They have a factory rating of 10 watts per driver. And here's the deal, though. They are not magnetically shielded. So you gamers out there that are using old CRT style TVs, you're not going to want to set this speaker on top of your TV, and you're not going to want to set your TV on top of this. You're going to want to set this maybe 8-10 inches away from it. Otherwise, it will mess with your picture tube and could gauss it, and it'll distort colors and stuff. And it's kind of an old school thing, like the old school center channels in home theater. Most of those are shielded, and you don't have to worry about magnetics. But, honestly, with the modern TVs, you don't really have that issue. But this is just kind of a warning for you guys with the older CRTs. So we'll put this front end back together, and then I'll flip it back over. This is the end tube here, the end cap, I should say. And this is for manual operation of the speaker. Like if you lose the remote or destroy your remote, at least you can operate it manually. I like the thought process in that. And then here is our readout, optical auxiliary Bluetooth, gaming mode. It looks like binoculars, or is that a game controller? Music, and then film. So it is I want to say it's kind of a molded ABS plastic type enclosure. It sounds good. They did a great job on sealing it and making it airtight. So when you push this passive radiator, these drivers move. Of course, now that I broke the seal, so when I put this back together, I'll have to seal it back up. Anyway, when you push the passive radiator, you get movement from the drivers, and that means that the enclosure's sealed and it's all working as it should to give you maximum bass. I'd like to show you before I finish assembling the end caps here. There is a divider in here, and they've used like a silicone or type glue to insulate it, so each chamber is sealed properly. Okay, so that is awesome. I really like that they did that. I'm pretty impressed, actually. All right, throw this end cap on. We'll flip her upside down. Here's the back panel, and the AC cord is hardwired in, and it's 5 feet long. It's just a hair under 60 inches in length from the tip of the AC plug to the back here. That's plenty of cord. I like the idea it's hardwired in here. I've seen other reviewers complain about devices that are hardwired, but I like them hardwired because you can't lose the cord. And another thing too is the 3-prong plugs can wiggle in and out. I mean, if you have children in the house, it can wiggle in and out. And as far as like cord replacement goes and anything like that, I have devices around here that are 45, 50 plus years old that have never had a cord problem. And so I'll guarantee you this cord will outlast the amplifier in here. On the back here, we have a little ribbon cable that goes... Come on. Sorry about that, guys. My camera does not like this lighting here in the shop. You have the board for your inputs and then a little ribbon cable that actually goes to the amplifier module. One thing I do like is, remember, the power supply is over here on the back of that passive radiator, so they're separated. So that's one way they can get away with using a switching power supply. When this speaker is turned on and you jack the volume up all the way, there's no hiss. This is a very clean little amplifier design / power supply design, and I like that they have separated them. This will be a Class D amplifier. I think this thing was rated for 40 watts, and I don't know. I didn't pull this out. I didn't check this audio IC here, so I'm just gonna have to take them at their word. But yeah, I like the construction. This is sealed as well. We have a little wall right here that goes about right here, one over here to complete that sealed off enclosure, for each end. I really like that. And I like what TaoTronics did. So let's put this back together and we'll wrap this video up. Okay, folks, well, that's it for this video. The TaoTronics wireless soundbar. This is 31.5 inches of fun, and at the mid $60 price range, I honestly think it's a good deal. I don't think TaoTronics is letting us down on this. However, I would like to see some better Bluetooth in there as far as latency goes. I would like a lot less latency. For television, I'm going to rate this about a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. For just a massive gnarly Bluetooth speaker that's plugged into the wall. That's going to give you 40 watts. Yeah, I'm going to give this sucker like a 9. And for a external speaker or an add-on speaker to your home computer, I'm also going to give this a 9. I love that. In fact, honestly, this isn't going back into the TV room. This is going into my computer room. So there you go. If you need a subwoofer output, by the way, guys, then buy a more expensive soundbar. That's all I can say. So there you go. Oh, one last thing. Remember, don't forget to buy those batteries. Breaker Broke 23 over and out. Thanks for watching.